I want the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Sorry, best I can do is another Eternals one and about 25 Shang-Chi featurettes. Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show, I'm your host Paul, and though it feels like we're eternally waiting for our door to be fixed, Marvel are still giving that goodness with a brand new look at their upcoming film The Eternals. In this video we're going to be breaking down the trailer, its Easter eggs, hidden details, and also giving our thoughts on what could be happening in the movie. There might be some spoilers here, so if you don't want anything ruined, then I'll recommend that you turn off now. If you enjoyed the video, then please smash the thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe for breakdowns like this each and every day. With that out of the way, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into our breakdown of the Eternals trailer. Okay, so the trailer itself actually confirms a lot of the plot leaks that we got early on in the year in regards to what happens in the movie. These leaks stated that the Eternals were created by the Celestials in order to hunt predators known as the Deviants. According to what they said, the Deviants basically feasted on newly formed evolving worlds that had a sudden burst of life, and this explains why they show up again after the snap. We learn this from Ajak, played by Salma Hayek, who we open the trailer on. From the first trailer, we know that the Eternals came to Earth millennia ago and that they helped us to evolve. They were sent here in order to fight the Deviants, and after meeting us, decided that we're so damn adorable that they had to stay. Got our wars and stuff, yeah, but we've got our memes as well. Now all of this was heavily shown in the first trailer, and though they spent centuries together, I think it's safe to say that they decided to split up and live apart on the planet. However, the threat of the Deviants returning brings them together, and thus they have to team up once more. Now interestingly, we don't see Ajak in any more of the present day scenes in the trailer. Every time she shows up, it seems to be in either a flashback or a scene that's set in an earlier part of the timeline. This could mean that Icarus kills her, and later on in the trailer we see him at her house firing his eye lasers. I actually have a theory that Icarus is bad and that he's angered over falling out of love with Sersi, played by Gemma Chan. In the first look, the pair were together for a long time, but then they broke up, and it is rumoured that Sersi will now be dating Dane Whitman, played by Kit Harington. This whole idea of them falling out was teased at in a recent interview for the film, in which Nate Moore and Chloe Zhao told Entertainment Weekly the following. "It's a little bit like being on a road trip with 9 of your closest friends for 7,000 years. In development, we joke that it's like if Tony Stark and Steve Rogers lived together for that long. That friendship will turn into frenemies, and then turn into enemies, and then come back to friendship because you have that common bond. It's like a family, no Vin Diesel." So this idea of the group splitting up is definitely mirrored in them. Perhaps Icarus summons the Deviants in order to bring them to Earth, and he kills Ajak in order to stop this info getting out. Going off on a massive side tangent there, I'm probably wrong, but that's just the vibe I get. Now let's focus more on the trailer than my stupid ramblings. Now Ajak mentions Thanos and how the snap blossoming the population is what caused an energy spike to let the Deviants return. This sent a gigantic asteroid to Earth which caused a tsunami and the rise of the villains on our planet. The Eternals now have 7 days in order to stop them, and this idea of the world being destroyed in the space of a week of course juxtaposes the Bible, which said that God created the heavens and earth in the same time period. However, there will be 7 days of destruction, and this idea of 7 is further mirrored in the fact that the Eternals came to Earth 7,000 years ago. Let me know if I'm reaching. Now we see more inside of their ship, and what I'm guessing is the prologue. In the central communication device is a hologram of a Celestial, who I'm guessing is sending them on their mission to our planet. Now it was said in the leaks that the Eternals themselves are actually highly advanced artificial intelligence, and that the group are actually machines rather than people. This is seemingly confirmed in the first look, as we can see a power orb passing into Ajak's neck, which seemingly activates her. The Celestials themselves are very machine-like, and I'm guessing that they built the Eternals as the next step in their evolution. Now in our last video, we discussed a lot of the plot elements for the movie, including how the Eternals themselves had been created by the Celestials, and I got a lot of heat for it, with people saying I was wrong. They said they'd thumbs down the video and kill me and my family, and this is because their origin story changed up massively from the comics. However, I do think this moment seems to suggest that I was actually right on that, which is a rare occasion. Now they travel across our solar system and fly right next to our sun, which doesn't melt the ship, showing how strong it is. We get more of the ancient fishing village, which was shown in the first trailer, and learn that the Eternals were protectors of humanity. Chloe Zhao said that, unlike most of the previous Marvel movies, that she really wanted to shoot as much as possible on location. Marvel movies often get criticised for being very dependent on green screens, and I think you can really tell in this first look that they've done something different, as the settings are great and the authenticity that comes across in the scenes looks absolutely fantastic. These moments early on are clearly being told by Cersei to Dane, who knows nothing, Jon Snow. Now Dane actually goes on to become the Black Knight, but whether he's in the film as this character or not remains to be seen. I think the most likely thing is that they'll set him up in this movie as the Black Knight, and that he'll appear in future films as the character. Now he asks a big question that several fans had, which is where the heckings were you guys when Thanos was snapping away everyone who didn't thumbs up the video? We learn that they were instructed not to interfere, and that they were pretty much only allowed to fight the deviant threat. We get a shot of an ancient invasion in what may or may not be Babylon, and the fact that they don't help out in this shows that their hands were pretty much tied. Now if this is Babylon, then this was shown in the first trailer, and due to the setting it may or may not be the same. I got a D in geography, so I don't know, and the Mayan-esque temples could contradict this theory. However, we do know that Babylon will be in the film, and this could actually be setting up Kang, who too appeared at this location in the comics. Icarus watches over a civilization burning, and this is mirrored in a nuke blast, which follows in the next shot. Cersei informs Dane that they aren't allowed to interfere unless the Deviants are involved, and we learn that they were given these instructions by the Celestials. Now I am torn on which one this is, and though it looks like Aeson the Searcher due to the mask, I think more likely than not that it's actually Arishem due to the red armor. He was actually the Celestial leader, and if you look at the chest pieces of Aeson and this one side by side, they are slightly different, so Arishem is the one I'm leaning into. Icarus says they need to find the others, and it's likely that at this point he's clearly talking to Cersei because of the reply in which he says she hasn't seen some of them for centuries. Now they might be doing some nifty trailer editing, but we know from the character descriptions that Cersei works in a museum, and in the top left we can see pictures that someone in this profession would have. Cut to where Druig is, which is a village. The character has the ability to control people's minds, and apparently he's been doing this to the locals there to see if he can carry it out on a grand scale. This is why there's people standing around all wearing the same things, and he's pretty much a cult leader at this point. He wants to do this mind control in order to see if there's a way to stop war, and he's lost faith that humanity will ever be able to live peacefully. Next is Sprite, and we then get a shot of Thena hitting Gilgamesh, who blocks it with his energy powers. Cut to us seeing that the Eternals have shown up to meet her, and they're now joined by Kingo. Kingo is a Bollywood superstar actor, and he apparently travels with someone who documents everything about his life. This is why in the teasers we saw him stood next to someone with a camera, and they could also be seen when the group were at the village. A lot of people thought that this was a mistake and that the camera crew had been caught in the shot, but I think they're just probably part of Kingo's crew. Next up we get a shot of a volcano erupting, which appears later on in the trailer. I'm guessing that this will be a big set piece in the film, or potentially it could be Vesuvius in Pompeii, and we might be seeing it in the past. This of course appeared in Loki during episode 2, and it may be linking the two properties together, or it may be a reach. Phastos then joins them, and he will be played by Brian Tyree Henry. He is the inventor of the group and possibly the pilot of the ship, as he's the one who brings it back online. It was said in the character descriptions that he's had a hand in a lot of humanity's inventions, and potentially he helped us to create the nuke. Just after it detonates, he seems absolutely devastated, and I think he may regret giving us a weapon so powerful that will be used to hurt others. We then get a shot of Druig and Makari, the latter of which is the speedster of the group. Behind them is an ancient Egyptian cat statue plated in gold, and in the first trailer we could catch her surrounded by artifacts. We then get a money shot of the group together in full, and I'm guessing that this is what happens after they introduce themselves on Earth. Thena says that they have loved us since they arrived, and instead of the trailer being all doom and gloom, we see Sprite creating fireworks for primitive man. You may notice that their powers are golden, and this is because they pull from cosmic abilities, which were of course set up in Captain Marvel. As we learned in WandaVision, red represents chaos magic, purple is dark magic, and orange is your more typical standard magic, so I like that they're keeping things uniformed. We then get a shot of jolly old London, namely Camden, and see a double-decker bus almost crushing Dane, but Cersei steps in and changes it to roses. Hope the driver wasn't hurt in that. Now over the top of this, the narration carries on, and Thena says when you love something you protect it. This is interspersed with shots of Icarus and Cersei protecting Dane, setting up a love triangle between the three. We then get a bit where Cersei starts the ship up, and also see what is potentially Jemiah the Celestial. Might not be, but typically they tend to use specific colours for specific characters, and he's always green. Now over the top of this, we get several shots of the Eternals fighting the Deviants, and these include the fishing village as well as Druig's home. We get a big look at the main Deviant, who tells Thena that she can't protect any of them. As always, we end on a joke at Phastos' home, in which Icarus jokingly says that the safe house is probably heavily protected, and he guesses that the table is made of vibranium. This is of course the precious, almost indestructible metal that comes from Wakanda. He smashes the table, and we learn that it's actually from the IKEA Fall Collection. Now this is the perfect time to let you know that we are sponsored by the IKEA. I'm just kidding, I'll never be that big. Anyway, this kind of mirrors the first trailer, in which they were discussing Iron Man and Captain Rogers being gone. Interestingly, they called him Captain Rogers, and this was of course because Sam Wilson is the current one. Anyway, that's the trailer. I absolutely loved it. Yeah, I don't know. I know kind of there's mixed feelings about this movie online, but personally I think they showed a lot of things to us, answered a lot of questions, and also set up the general threat whilst teasing some of the mystery that's going to be in the movie. I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as this makes out, and yeah, let me know if you agree with that Icarus theory or not. As a thank you for interacting with the video, you'll be entered into a competition at the end of the month in which we're giving away 3 copies of an MCU box set directly to you, if you win. Now all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the trailer. The winners of last month's competition are on screen right now, so if that's you, then message me on Twitter at Heavy Spoilers. If you want something else to watch, then make sure you check out our breakdown of What If Episode 2, which will be linked on screen right now. We went through the whole episode from top to bottom and found all the Easter eggs that we could, so definitely go check it out right after this. With that out of the way, thank you for sitting through the video. I've been Paul, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.